Hey everybody, it's Darkling Muffin, and welcome back to more Let's Play The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. In the last episode, we were entrusted by the Great Deku Tree to partake in the task of breaking the curse on him by entering into his stomach? Trees don't really have stomachs. Entering into his trunk and trying to break the curse, and in this episode, we're gonna do just that. This is Queen Goma, otherwise known as just Goma. It's one of the parasitic monsters inside the Deku Tree. Its eye is vulnerable when it's red. That, of course, includes when it's lunging at you, which is one of its attacks. Oh, if you get close to it, that's your chance to shoot at it. And go ahead and hit it with a jump slash to get as much damage as you can. After doing a little bit of damage, it's going to climb up onto the walls or onto the pillars and hang out on the roof here. And after a couple of seconds, it'll drop down some Goma egg. When this egg hatches, a Goma larva will be born. That's a bit of obscure text. You can just slash the egg, but if you wait too long, the egg will hatch, and you'll have to take out a Goma larva. But yeah, I'm willing to bet that a fair few of you probably haven't seen that Goma egg text before, even if you were pretty diligent about IDing all of the enemies in the game. Once all the Goma larvae are defeated, Goma will come down from the roof, and alternatively to the slingshot, you can use Deku Nuts to stun. And unfortunately, I only got one hit off there, but I really gotta say that Goma is an excellent first boss. Just, you know, on the topic of the Deku Tree being a really good first dungeon for sort of teaching you about theming and puzzles, Goma's a really good first boss to demonstrate stuff like puzzle-based boss fighting, which is sort of, you know, a staple of the Zelda series, but really Goma is an excellent example of showing you how to, you know, it's an easy enough boss fight for people to grasp, but it's, you know, it's still got a puzzle element to it so that kids can pick up, like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to, you know, fight future enemies. One thing that I haven't mentioned is that when Goma is on the roof, you can actually shoot her down when she's making the eggs, allowing you to get a couple more hits off. And right where Goma had that really horribly gruesome death, you got a heart container. Your maximum life energy is increased by 1 heart. Your life energy will be totally filled. If you go ahead and have a look at our hearts, we have 1 more than we used to, which is very nice. Now, before I step into this blue warp, I want to reiterate the purpose of this series. I want you to sort of transport yourself into a time when you haven't played this game before, you don't know anything about this game, and I want you to watch this next cutscene and really take in the weight of the situation at hand and what it all means, and maybe try to look for little themes here and there to try and, you know, pick out. Come at it from the perspective of an adult rather than a kid, basically.
Well done, Link. Thou hast verily demonstrated thy courage. I knew that thou wouldst be able to carry out my wishes. Now I have yet more to tell thee. Wouldst thou listen? Now, Listen carefully. A wicked man of the desert cast this dreadful curse upon me. This evil man ceaselessly uses his vile sorcerous powers in a search for the sacred realm that is connected to Hyrule. For it is in that sacred realm that one will find the divine relic, the Triforce, which contains the essence of the gods. Before time began, before spirits and life existed, 3 golden goddesses descended upon the chaos that was Hyrule. Din, the goddess of power. Nehru, the goddess of wisdom. Furor, the goddess of courage. Din. With her strong, flaming arms, she cultivated the land and created the Red Earth. Nehru poured her wisdom onto the earth and gave the spirit of law to the world. Furor, with a rich soul, produced all life forms who would uphold the law. The 3 great goddesses, their labors completed, departed for the heavens, and golden sacred triangles remained at the point where the goddesses left the world. Since then, the sacred triangles have become the basis of our world's providence, and the resting place of the triangles has become the sacred realm. Thou must never allow the desert man in black armor to lay his hands on the sacred Triforce. Thou must never suffer that man with his evil heart to enter the sacred realm of legend. That evil man who cast the death curse upon me and sapped my power. Because of that curse, my end is nigh. Though your valiant efforts to break the curse were successful, I was doomed before you started. Yes, I will pass away soon, but do not grieve for me. I have been able to tell you of these important matters. This is Hyrule's final hope. Link, go now to Hyrule Castle. There thou wilt surely meet the Princess of Destiny. Take this stone with thee, the stone that man wanted so much that he cast the curse upon me.
You got the Kokiri's Emerald. This is the spiritual stone of the forest now entrusted to you by the Great Deku Tree.
The future depends upon thee, Link. Thou art courageous. Shouldst thou ever lose thy way, seek a vision of the path from the Sheikah stone that stands beside thy home. Navi the fairy, help Link to carry out my will. I entreat thee, Navi. Goodbye.
Let's go to Hyrule Castle, Link. Goodbye, Great Deku Tree.
Hey, Link! What did you do? The Great Deku Tree, did he die? How could you let a thing like that happen? It's all your fault! Well, that totally killed the mood. I really want to talk about that cutscene, because I feel like it's one of the most overlooked cutscenes pretty much in gaming. A lot of people think of it as, oh, it's just a creation story, blah-blah-blah, it's boring as heck. But, like, really the importance of that cutscene is to detail how important this quest is. Like, the 3 golden goddesses used their powers to create the world, and then they poured all their power into a sacred Triforce. And this man, the wicked man from the desert, is trying to take that Triforce, trying to take that power for himself, the power that was used to create the Earth and all things within it. That's kind of a big deal. And I really like how Link is sitting down after the story is being told, because it really shows that Link is still a kid. He's a little bit too young to understand the value of what he's being told. He's listening, but he's not hearing. Well, he's hearing, but he's not listening, and I feel like that really reflects how a lot of people see this game, and the cutscenes in it. But anyway, during that cutscene, the Great Deku Tree mentioned the Sheikah Stone next to your house. This is where you go if you want to get hints for where to go if you ever get lost, or if you have trouble with a puzzle. I, of course, will not be needing it. So let's just move on and head out to Hyrule Castle like the Great Deku Tree said. See if this guy has anything new to say. We Kokiri die if we leave the forest. You're not gonna try and leave the forest, are you? Well, I suppose I am.
Oh, you're leaving. I knew that you would leave the forest someday, Link, because you are different from me and my friends. But that's okay, because we'll be friends forever, won't we? I want you to have this ocarina. Please take good care of it.
You received the Fairy Ocarina. This is a memento from Saria. Tap the ocarina icon on the lower screen to start playing it. You can play different notes with L, Y, X, A, and R. Press B to quit playing.
When you play my ocarina, I hope you will think of me and come back to the forest to visit.
Welcome to Hyrule Field.
Hoot! Link, look up here. It appears the time has finally come for you to start your adventure. You will encounter many hardships ahead. That is your fate. Don't feel discouraged, even during the toughest times. If you go straight this way, you will see Hyrule Castle. You will meet a princess there. If you are lost and don't know which way to go, look at the map. The areas you have explored will be shown on the map. Tap the map icon on the lower screen to open the map subscreen. If you don't know where to go next, try heading to one of the locations marked with a flashing dot. Did you get all that? Alright then, I'll see you around. Hoot 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 ho!
Alright, I wanted to wait till the owl was done talking before I talk about that cutscene there. First of all, I'm going to quickly pop into the map subscreen so you can see what that looks like. If you have a look at the bottom screen, there are a couple flashing lights, so let's just head over to one of the flashing lights and, make our way over there. But that cutscene with Saria is one of my absolute favorites in the game, and I'm going to talk about it in a second because we have an enemy! P-Hat! Its weak point is its roots. You just you can shield its damage, and that'll cause it to turn around. You can slash at its roots. That's about all about that. But, anyway, that cutscene with Saria is really important to me because Saria is a very important character. She is sort of a confidant, a confidant. Sort of the one friend that believes in you even if you're different. To everyone else, Link is kind of an outsider to everyone. Not exactly an outsider, but, like I was talking about earlier, he feels like a character. He feels like the other people are just they acknowledge that he exists, and that's about it. But with Saria, it's important to have people who you can trust, who can, be your confidant. And I see Saria as more of a sister figure than a friend or a romantic interest. And it could just be because I have my own sister who I hold in a similar regard. But with that sort of stuff out of the way, let's head over to here, which is where one of the flashing dots is. This is Lon Lon Ranch. Of course, it's nighttime, so the ranch doesn't really have anything interesting going on. But if you listen closely, you can hear a little Skulltula. Hear a little Skulltula, and you may have saw it a second ago. There it is. There's a gold Skulltula up there. Now we can kill this Skulltula with the slingshot. But we don't really have a way of getting all the way up there to grab the token. I can't really jump high enough to get it. So we'll have to worry about that another time. But in the meantime, inside this tree, if you bump into it, a gold Skulltula will appear. So let's go ahead and pick that up. Over there, off in the distance, you might see some, what appear to be some kind of bat or a bird flapping around. These are a new enemy. One of them disappeared, so it's probably chasing me. Where is it? Where are you? Where are you, buddy? Where are you, Buster? Buster! I can't do the voice right now. Oh, there it is. I see it. Aha! Gwei, destroy it before it flies into you! I did not succeed at doing just that. Gweis are my least favorite enemy. They are the worst. I hate them with a burning passion because they always fly into me and I'm never able to kill them before they hit me. I mean, obviously I just did it, but I'm never able to deal with them. And I find the best way to deal with them is just kind of snipe them from a distance if you can. Come on. Where are you at, guys? Okay. And the worst part about them, they respawn. So let's just move on. And there's a gold Skulltula right here. So let's take this guy out. Now, over where the Gweis are flying, if we kind of walk over here, there is some dirt piles flopping out of the ground, and there is in fact a hole here. And inside this hole is a new enemy. This is a business scrub. If you get close to it, it will hide in the grass, unless you defeat it first. So with business scrubs, you can, they're just like Deku Scrubs. You can attack them with their own Deku Nut, but if you talk to them afterwards, I surrender. In return, I will sell you Deku Nuts. 5 for 20 rupees they are. Let's make a deal. 5 Deku Nuts for 20 rupees? I have a feeling I'm gonna need some rupees, later on, so I'm actually not gonna make that deal. Yikes, I'm going home then! So yeah, that's what these guys are. You can, hit their Deku Nuts back at them, and you can talk to them, and they'll sell you stuff. Stuff like Deku Seeds, Deku Nuts, refills on stuff that you might not have. The unfortunate thing is that these guys are pretty useless because that stuff, it will just spawn naturally most of the time. This guy's selling bombs. Not really much we can do with bombs right now. But okay. But that's just, it's an option for if you happen to be low on something. And how the heck are we going to get out of this hole? Well, you stand on this pedestal and you'll just be tossed out of the hole by Furore herself, I guess. Not actually sure what's up with that. But we're going to make our way over to this tower here and see what's inside. And hopefully not get hit by a Gwei on the way. There we go. Inside here, there's a couple of cows, hello friends, and a bunch of crates of some description. Now, the thing about this is that I feel like most people don't actually know how you're meant to do this puzzle. Because there's a really easy way to cheese it, but I'm not a dirty cheeser. I solve puzzles the way they were meant to be solved. Probably, maybe. Actually, I'm not. Here we go. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, guys. I know what I'm doing. Watch me work. Let him cook, everybody. Oh, that's the wrong way. That was okay. Weird stuff going on. Guys, I swear I know what I'm doing, guys. I know what I'm doing. Alright, screw it. I'm just gonna climb on top. That's the cheese. You can climb on top. All you need to do is this crate here, you just pull it back one, and then you can just get right in here. And in this corner here, what's that off in the distance? Why, it appears to be a heart container, but on further inspection, it's not a heart container. It is... You got a heart piece. Collect 4 pieces total to get another heart container. More heart containers mean more life energy. Now, this does not give us an extra heart, but it does, if we go into our gear subscreen, give us a quarter of a heart. Now, this quarter of a heart is not usable. We need 3 more heart pieces for us to be able to use that quarter of a heart, but it's still nice to have. Now, I don't actually know the solution to this puzzle, genuinely. I was messing around and trying to see if I could figure it out live on camera, and I've made a darn fool of myself, if I do say so myself. But I gotta say, again, just talking about Ocarina of Time 3D, I love how all of the small little rooms in the game are just decorated with stuff. There's barrels here, there's stuff over here, there's a ladder. I don't know. This stuff might have been in the original. It's been a while since I've had a look around, but just like everything really feels like the world feels lived in this version more than any other version of the game. But with that, those Skulltulas and that piece of heart, there's also another gold Skulltula up here, but it's the same issue as the one that we found on the house, and there's a Gwei chasing me. Ha ha! Okay, that startled me a little bit. With the Skulltulas and the piece of heart, there's not really much else that we can do here. Even in the day, it's pretty empty around here in the day. So let's head over to... Well, let's head over back to Hyrule Field and make our way to the castle, which is where the other flashing dot on our map is, if you have a look at that. Now, it is a bit disappointing that there isn't much to do here, but I promise you, we'll be coming back later, because we do have to get that Skulltula eventually. So, you can be sure we're coming back. And in Hyrule Field at night, there's these there's these enemies. Stall Child, don't be afraid of the Stall Child, just attack it repeatedly. So you can do that, you can use your normal stabs, your slashes, but if you horizontal slash it, if I can do it without killing one of them, these guys actually spawn infinitely while you're out and about on the Hyrule Field. If you slash it horizontally, you'll knock its head off, and it won't be able to find you. It's pretty great, actually. Now, there's a little Easter egg with these guys, and I'm not sure I'm going to have enough time to show it off. But if you kill enough of these guys and you have enough of them spawn... I don't think I'm going to have enough time to show it off. I don't think there's enough time. Yeah, unfortunately there's not enough time. But if you kill enough of them, one of them that spawns will just be big. It'll just be bigger than the rest for some reason. I don't know why. I love it. It's great. I think the same thing also happens with the Gways if you kill enough of them, because they also are infinitely respawning. It might be... I'm not entirely sure about this, but I think that happens with pretty much every infinitely spawning enemy in the game, which is kind of funny. But with that, we've made it to the Hyrule Castle. The drawbridge was closed down during the night, so I figured it was, just fine enough to waste some time over in the ranch while we wait for it to become day. But now that it's daytime, I think I'm going to end the episode here and head into Hyrule Castle in the next episode. See you guys then.